So I realized I'm not totally stupid. I just didn't think to click on the pillow. I was missing some information. Alright. There we go. Hello everyone, welcome back on the Pixel Doctor. Like, share, comment, subscribe. This is 9 doors, 9 persons, 9 hours. Alright. So now that we have the full picture, the blue one is 0 2 0263. Right? Yes, okay. Yep, I got it. Yes. Yes. Got it. See if this number worked. Turn the key in. Hey, it looks like it's working. Yes. Alright, let's open it up. Yes, it opened. If there's something in here. What is this? A file? Screen. Any documents or notes during an escape, information will be available from the file screen. To open the file screen, touch file. The screen, select by touching it. Or by pressing blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. It's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one number. If you end up with something greater than a single digit, add the digits to one another. And since if you have a double digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Add digits to the matter until you have a single digit answer. How digit is your digital root? Digital root of 376 would be 3 plus 7 plus 8, 21, 2 plus 1, 3. Therefore, the digital root of 673 is... Yeah, okay. Be 10, 1. Got it. I see. Just keep adding numbers until I just get a single digit number. It looks like there's something on the back of this thing. Notebook, a pen, and a calculator. A stack of key cards. New material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. Your screen can be used during an escape or during novel sequences. During the escape, you'll access it by pressing Y to open the calculator screen. Yes. When you use the calculator, the number on the top calculations and the numbers on the bottom are your answers. The calculator can also calculate a digital root, which is important not in the progression of the story. Sure. Oh, okay. So that's 7, 4. So 4. That's all. 7, 4, 8, 6. Alright, I don't need the instructions every time. Seven, 4, 8. Oh. I can find these. Okay. Alright, well. Alright. Now I think that's everything in this room. So, let's go over to here. Do something with cards with the numbers on them. Pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide this card and see if it works. And... Huh? Not working. Why? Damn it. No, no, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Damn it! Again. Find more cards in here. Got one of the hit. Of course, the files. Also, something about a digital route. Digital route. Digital route, huh? What's supposed to do with 5 on the door? Do I have to get the digital route at 5? I'm not really sure about this. Whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. Slide the cards that give the digital route 5 through the reader. And touch 3 cards and select them. Digital route of the selected cards will be displayed on the top screen. The reset will deselect all currently selected cards. After you selected 3 cards, touch the device. Okay, so if I do... Let's see, 1 plus 6, that's 7. 7, so it's going to be 14. Oh. That was easy. I think this is gonna work. There we go. That's a new noise. Huh? Did it just unlock? Oh, that light was red and now it's blue. There's that about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go. Creepy. You found it. I don't know what I found. I'm glad I found it. Nobody by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out the room and into the opposing wall. It's a pretty nice looking water for the DS. Gasping to catch his breath, he looked around. He was in a narrow hallway. Water that followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out the door. Followed quickly down the hall, slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs. There's 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of the short staircase, a door. Another door. Junpei leapt up on the stairs straight for the door. Door burst open. Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What a possible response could be there have been? 20 years old. What the hell? Was trailed off, and all he could do was stare. Boss floor stretched out before him, ornate staircase rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. I've never seen that word before. Stairs and pillars were solid wood, and art. Nova, I don't know. Embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It was like nothing so much as the entrance at the luxurious mansion of the early 1900s. Junpei couldn't help but wonder, is he really in a ship? The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speeds, moved towards the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's totally a boat. Wait, what the hell? A wave? Shit, I gotta get out of here. He spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran towards the tremendous staircase in front of him. C deck. B deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the blades mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. He began to wonder where in fact the stairs did lead. Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye. He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the lane to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. On the right side, 3 more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. Stopped short where they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step in the middle of the stride. Who were these people? The entire intersection lasted only a matter of seconds. The one spoke to Junpei and time began to move again. Guess there's another one of us now. Who was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. clothes covered very little, and her prodigious jewelry little more. Hey, you come on, hurry! No further memory, she ran straight past Junpei toward the door behind him. The sudden proximity of the woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman. First past Junpei was a young man with silver hair. For a quick glance at Junpei's direction, then as he ran, muttering, one of us, huh? Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. A soft wrinkle sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough that as he passed Junpei to see wisps of gray in his hair. His composure and shock of his hair, Junpei has rather like that of an elderly lion. Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open. To speak was with a girl with pink hair and a high voice. Come on, aren't you coming? You gotta hurry. Her small hand was wrapped around the wrists of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he were sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene, and he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Leopold's posture seemed very refined. Junpei couldn't help but feel he was noble and dignified somehow. Certainly never seen one, but this is the man that seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like. That's 9 of us, then. All the cards are in hand. What does all the cards in hand mean? He wondered. Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him, and they were gone. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running toward him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest, and he looked like as though a stiff breeze might topple him. The other was a very veritable mountain of a man. The scrawny one said nothing and scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something. Hey, what the hell are you standing there for? Didn't you hear him? Doors on A deck are no good. Gotta go check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go. Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. No more effort than Junpei would have to use to brush aside a fly, this man shoved him out of the way. Whoa. Thrown off balance by the man and his recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 were running toward. There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set on the walls in front of them. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. And across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right had 4. The door on the right had 5. They're the same. Junpei decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself. Everyone had a number on the door just like this. You too, eh? With the arrow etched in the lion looked over at Silver. My cell was the same. The number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hall outside, and found myself in a rather grand room. Stairs, as I suspect, did the rest. The view. It was as though the floodgates had been opened. They all began to talk at once. Me too. I did too. Yeah, door with a number on it. It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they'd been guided there. We all saw the same thing. It's not important. We need to hurry. Yeah, you think I don't know that lady? But Dancer had time to finish. Silver was already running. We grabbed hold of the door level 5 and pulled. However, fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge. Move. You're in my way. Matt grabbed Silver's shoulders and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back and threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again. Junpei towards, next to the door on the wall was a small box. It looked just like the one that he had seen in his room next to the door. If it was the same, then the door was likely locked as well. Still, he had to check. Junpei grabbed a handle and threw all of his weight onto it. Yeah. was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he suspected. Damn it! Junpei punched the door, did not respond. Were these the only doors, he wondered? Barely finished the thought when the C deck plate he passed up on his way sprang on by in his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. A girl. She was to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, so that was the reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. He had seen her somewhere before. Couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he had met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Response suggested she'd seen him before as well. Not saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she had been held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. Sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. Ah! Quake caught the girl unprepared, and she fell. Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her, or so he thought. This was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own. He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed to be as confused as he did, and her face suggested that she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment, that seemed to stretch for a very long time. They stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at the walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last, the girl opened her mouth. Oh my gosh, is that you, Jumpy? Jumpy. Jumpy. The words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned. Akane? Why hadn't he realized it before? This girl was Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? Soft eyes were only inches from his own. Feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At the moment, the speaker crackled to life, and a cold, eerie voice filled the room. Welcome aboard. I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart to this my vessel. The voice's invasion, the spell between Junpei and Akane were broken, and all hints of romance were instantly forgotten. They hurriedly untangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Several companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces have gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last they found it. The speaker set in the ceiling. I am Zero, the captain of the ship. I am also the person who invited you here. The voice is harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static, but Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it? The same voice he had heard from the man in the gas mask. Hey asshole, what the hell is this? Come on out here, I want to get a look at you. What do you mean to do to us? I need to have you participate in a game. Some of you I know are familiar with this game. The Nonary game. This is a game where you will put your life on the line. Nonary game? The hell's that? Let's continue implicitly. The rules of the Nonary game can be found upon your persons. They are simple rules. Read them. Nonary game. There's something in my pocket. Check this out. Pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. Some reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper, as no one checked their pockets. They followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from his earlier ordeal. Hey, I got one too. But it seems Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man? He requested that it had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked. On the ship, you'll find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them the numbered doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. key to open these numbered doors are the numbered bracelets that each of you possess. Should you total the number on your numbered bracelets and find that the digit root of the number is equal to that number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all those who must Alright. Richard figured had to mean the bulky thing on his wrist. That's round. It looks like everyone else had one too, and had come to much the same conclusion. The purpose of this game is simple. Leave the ship alive. It's hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Junpei had reached the end of the letter. There was a long moment of silence, and the speaker crackled to life once more. There's one last thing I must tell you. As you've no doubt surmised, the ship has begun to sink. On April 14th, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I'll give you one more time. 9 hours. That's the time you'll be given to make your escape. The voice finished and the speaker went silent. The sound of the bell tolling echoed through the hall. Came from the dance hall adjacent to the stairwell. To those assembled on the stairs, merely moments to trace the sound of an antique clock embedded in the wall. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the ninth bell faded, the 10th never came. That meant the time was 9 o'clock, most likely 9 o'clock in the evening. Junpei appeared out the window of his cell, he had seen nothing but blackness. It had been nighttime. If that were the case, then they would need to escape by 6 a.m. the following day. Now it is time. Let our game begin. Wish you all the best of luck. The speaker went on and did not speak again. He yelled to speak with language coarse enough to embarrass a sailor, but the rest of Junpei's companions were silent and deep in thought. Junpei too was consumed by his thoughts. There was a great deal he didn't understand. It was Zero. What was the nunnery game? Why had he chosen to make them part of it? Was he a criminal who took delight in playing with his victims? Or did he have some other purpose? Why had Junpei been chosen as part of this insane game? Why hadn't any of them been chosen? Why had any of them chosen? But one question was foremost in his mind. Kane. Why hadn't they seen each other since elementary school? Why she appeared now? Coincidence? No, it seemed impossible. There had to be a reason. He didn't know what it might be, but there had to be a reason. Very well. The line's voice seemed oddly loud in silence. Standing around here won't do us any good. Unless we get moving, don't you think? Get moving? Plan on opening numbered doors? Hey, wait. Don't tell me you're actually going to do what this Zero says. No, that's not what I mean. Blind shook his head, mildly annoyed. I'm saying let's find another way. After all, we haven't really examined this place yet. What? The separate investigation is finished. All 9 people returned where they had left one another. The results of all their work was nothing. They were completely sealed in. Their hard work had not gone to complete waste, however. They learned of a number of things as they scoured the parts of the ship they could reach. It seems as though they were confined to deck A through C. C was as far as down as they would be able to go, however. Reason being, the D deck was completely submerged. Strangely, however, the water had risen no higher than D deck. The flow seemed to have been stopped, however, as evidence of the surface of the water on D deck, which was as smooth as glass. Prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it. Perhaps the Zero fellow has to use some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, the water won't rise for 9 hours. Then you're saying we won't sink till then? Well, maybe a little too optimistic. No point on wishful thinking. There are 3 middle doors on C deck. The door stood off to the side with two more on the wall facing the central staircase. None of them had numbers or verification devices. They were, however, locked in like the other doors. No matter how much they pushed and shoved, the doors refused to move. The mountain and the line threw themselves against it a few times, but to no avail. The door in the back had a keyhole. So it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot. There were two other doors in the C deck as well, but it was clear that they were elevators, as each had buttons next to it with an upside down triangle. They tried pushing the buttons. No response. Apparently there was no power running to the elevators. To the left of the elevator doors was a card reader. However, it had also a strange mark on it. It looked like a lowercase h with the dash drawn across this upper stem of the H. Junpei stared at it for a while. Symbol of Saturn. Astrological symbol. I know I recognized it too. Mark on the door was the mark of the sun symbol. They'd seen the same symbol on A deck. There was a door on either side of the stairs. One left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it. Earth symbol. Horizontal one. This was the equator, vertical one, prime meridian. I looked up and down at the ceiling. There was a great circle cut in it, perhaps the skylight of a glass dome, but it had been filled with gargantuan metal plate. The metal looked very solid. Anything short of an explosive charge was unlikely to damage it. There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. There too were covered in metal sheets. In other words, we're trapped. All exits go nowhere. Junpei was not happy. The girl with the pink hair spoke up. I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them. And the mountain spoke. We don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls or take us into circles. Prince did not agree. I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? We can open them. Well, two of them at least. I mean the numbered doors. Always turned toward the doors with the numbers on them. The atmosphere of the room grew tense. Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that. Let's move in front of the doors as if to block them. It'd be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do. Suddenly everyone began to speak at once. I agree. I don't. That's a terrible idea. We should keep going. We should stay here. Any other way to open any of these doors? We should just wait. Someone's about to come find us. We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, the ship's going to sink. Our voices made it impossible to determine who's going to say what. Who is saying what? The arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another. They remained silent, but at last he could take no more. Hey, shut up! They fell silent, and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. While we tried to decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do. What's that? We need to exchange information. They don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are, who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too. They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. One of them spoke up. It was Akane. I agree. I think Jumpy is right. Jumpy? Oh, sorry, I'm talking about him. I just call him Jumpy. His name is Junpei. She pointed towards Junpei. We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school. Wait, stop. Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zero's probably watching us right now. What do you do if he's listening in? Would that be bad? Hell yeah, it would. We don't know how much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked up a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it's dangerous for to let him know too much. Zero knows who we are. He could go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had him to get us to do stuff, you know? But we still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names. Alright, then why don't we have a code name? So apparently, this seems like an obvious solution. Code names? Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7. 7? Are you 7? Seems like a fair question. Sounds stuck out his left arm. This is bracelet says number 7. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's a good idea. He smirked. Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. Hey, you chumps know Japanese? No, well, San means 3, so I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think? Any bracelet number? Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa. Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust his left hand out. Sure enough, the face on his bracelet read 3. Very well then. I'll go, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. That, I'll think it'll be Ace. Seems appropriate. I'll be Lotus. Then not sure. As you all know, it has 8 petals, which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8. I appreciate if you call me Snake. My bracelet is 2. Since Ace has chosen cards, then I'll choose dice. Snake Eyes, clearly, which is particularly relevant given that I'm blind. Ah, blind, really? Kept his eyes closed during the entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange, but to hear it said so casually, it was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how do you know it's a 2? There's one person, or whoever doesn't seem to be surprised in the least. The girl with pink hair. I'm a little sketchy of Prince here. I want to be Clover. You know, like 4 Clover. She's number 4. Good luck, right? Looking almost bored, she held her left hand out. She held out her left hand. The face of the bracelet showed the number 4. They'd come around to Junpei. He held out his bracelet. Alright, my number's 5, so my code name is gonna be... I have one. Not like there's any point now. I have to cut him off in mid-sentence. We all know your name already. You're Junpei. Oh. They all nodded. I stepped forward nervously. And you should all come my name too, because, I mean, it doesn't seem fair to Jumpy. I still think it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his. I fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something. What's your bracelet number? It's 6. He stayed for a moment, then held out her left hand. She had proclaimed the bracelet's face showed a 6. Junpei looked at it for a moment and thought, alright, then why don't we call you June? June? You know, it's the 6th month of the year. You're June. Jumpy. I her hands and looked up at Junpei uncertain. Smiled back at her and reassuringly. You're good with that? She thought about it for a few more minutes, then seemed to come to a decision to give Jumpy a small nod. Junpei. Names decided. Junpei ran over to them quickly and said, Ace was number 1, Ace was number 2, number 3 was Santa, 4 was Clover, 5 was Junpei's number, 6 was Akane, Junpei gave her the code name of June, 7 was 7, 8 was Lotus, that meant 8 of them, including Junpei, had revealed their bracelet numbers. Still one person left. The man with the glasses and hair like a bird's nest. He hadn't said anything since they met on the stairs, and he didn't look like the sort of person who was inclined to conversations. Seems well, he was breathing heavy, he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. However, the case, it seemed clear that he had only a fingertip's worth of a grip on his sanity. The girl with the pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly, hands on his hip, and eyed him suspiciously. What number are you? He didn't answer. Whilst her eyes twitched from person to person, the breath came in hot pants. I am talking to you. The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke in a voice like old paper. It isn't obvious. There's only 9 people here, and you know who's number 1 through 8 are. I'm the only one left. So you're 9? Yeah. He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet didn't indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously. So what's your code name? Code name? What he wants to call you? Tell me in advance, you should too. I don't need one. Why not? Because I'm not going to stay here. With you. He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust. You have some sort of plan? I do. What's that? Sure you want to know? Yeah. Alright. I'll show you. I'm going to do this. Time they realized what he was doing. It was too late to stop him. Man's body looked like a snake. In the blink of an eye, he slid around her, wrapped his arm around his waist. What the hell do you think you're doing? Santa leapt forward toward Clover and the sixth man. He was halfway there when... Stay back. Then the man's hand dove into his pocket. He came back out with a knife. A pocket knife. Held it to Clover's pale quivering neck. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? We're all stuck here. If you get any closer, I'll cut her open. Santa skidded to a halt. He snarled at the scrawny man with his knife and gritted his teeth. Yes, that's right. The man's smile was neither friendly nor reassuring. Sweat poured down from his neck, soaking the collar of his shirt. Clover, are you alright? The prince, Snake's voice suddenly oddly concerned. Yeah, I'm fine. Her voice shook, making her words even less convincing. What the hell are you trying to do? I told you. This is my plan. What are you gonna do with her, you sick son of a bitch? Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything to her. Just want to tell her, I'll let her go. Started moving backwards slowly, keeping his grip on Clover. In the distance, Junpei and the others followed. After the man reached the wall, he gave a start at his back, touched it, glanced around quickly, and spoke. Verify. The left. Look to your left. Do you see the device on the wall? Place your hand on the scanner panel to the wrap part. What if I don't? The man's nostrils flared and he looked like he was about to choke. Are you an idiot? What do you think? I could slit your throat right now. I'll kill you if you have to. All I need is your bracelet. Just do it. Do it now. Press the knife against Clover's neck hard. Slowly she stretched her left hand out towards the device. Back to it, she had to feel around for a moment before she found the circular panel. Made a cold electronical noise on the display above her hand, and an asterisk appeared. So that's how it worked. Junpei thought it to himself, placing one palm on what the knife man had called the scanner panel. He used his bracelet. He entered to the number. He doubled the number and bracelets and find the digital root of the number is equal to the number of that door. The door will open. Junpei shifted his eyes to the door itself. The number of the door is 5. Man seemed to know a little more about the device operation than he should. How had he known exactly what to do? Good, you're done. Next. His bloodshot eyes crept from the person to person until finally they stopped on the line. You, right? You're the one with the number 1 bracelet, right? Yes, I am, so. Then you're next. Just verify your number like this little brat did. What are you doing? Do it. Did you care what happens to her? Okay, just calm down. Ace held his hand, palms out, and then jerked his chin towards the device. Slowly, cautiously, Ace moved towards the device. After what seemed like an agonizing eternity, he reached it. Now verify. Ace nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. The device had beeped again, and the second asterisk appeared. The device had Clover and Ace's number, 4 and 1. 4 and 1 equals 5. The same number on the door, but it wouldn't open just yet. Only 5 people could. The door needed at least 1 person. Who would that be? Back. Push up with the knife. Ace took 2, then 3 steps back. No, farther. More than that. All the way back. The knife man's lip curled into a cruel, twisted smile. That was when Junpei understood his plan. Clover's 4 and Ace's 1. Add to the nice man's 9. Yeah, it's gonna be 5. In other words. Thank God you were all so cooperative. Now I can get out of this nightmare. He pressed his own hand against the scanner panel. Third asterisk appeared on the screen. He dropped his hand to the lever on the side of the device and it pulled. It opened with a heavy metallic groan. He let go, Clover. Wait! Junpei leapt toward the neighbor, but it wasn't fast enough. Man shoved Clover and hopped through the door. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then, bye. Raised his hand and waved a twisted smirk of his. Then he was gone. Door ground shut and with a dull clang of metal on metal. Clover, are you alright? Snake ran to Clover's side as she laid on the floor. Yeah, I'm fine. She climbed unsteadily to her feet. Once there, leaned heavily on Snake's shoulder for support. I ran to the door. They followed him. Several pairs of hands grabbed hold of the handles and pulled. They grunted strained, but shit, it won't budge. When Lotus and Andrew spoke, her voice was quiet. Do you hear something? Like what? Some sort of beeping. Junpei pressed his ears against the cold metal of the door. Lotus did the same. You're right, I can hear it too. What is it? I heard something else. It was the ninth man. Shit. Why isn't it stopping? God damn it. You lied. Lied? This wasn't supposed to happen. This is wrong. This is wrong. His voice shook with fear. Safe on the outside, they stepped back from the door and they looked at one another. What's happening in there? Open the door. Please. I'm begging you. Help me. Please get me out of here. Get me out of here. This is what you get. They grabbed a hold of the device. He slammed his hand to the scanner panel. Nothing happened. But didn't it register him? He lifted the display where the asterisk had shown up. It said engaged. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen. I was lied to. He lied to me. He put me in here. It was him. He killed me. It was him. Do what?